teams. Not quite, but essentially. And you know what? We were talking in the break about the Samira pick, right? And I know you were saying it might be for the best if OMG don't take it. Well, anyone's legend doing them a favor, banning that Samira away from Abel.
Yeah, but this would, if OMG were to pick up a win here over anyone's legend, this could be such a good walk for them in towards playoffs. And as you say, like, banning the Samira definitely gives them an extra advantage going towards that. The Akali and the Poppy both going to be taken away by anyone's legend. They're saying game 1, we are not letting this happen again.
Absolutely not. The Akali, the Poppy, both gone. The Kalista also taken off the board with the Wukong. Someone like a Zeri could be a real good ban from the side of OMG. It will be the Lucian, though, taken off the board. So Zeri available. We've seen Sylas first picks as well, which we know Forge is more than happy to play the Sylas. But it looks like the Zeri might be the option. I feel like this is the safest of the first picks available.
Cream, also a very good Sylas player in his right as well. So not surprised if this gets taken straight off the board, which it looks like it will. And then the question becomes, what do we get in the AD carry role potentially? Renata is up and available again if OMG want to try and take that, which Renata actually surprisingly works very well with the Sylas as well, just giving him more uptime in fights. But looks like it may just be the Nautilus to make sure they can lock down this area.
Nautilus locked in there, so bit of aggression on the bottom side and certainly can set up Abel. I'd love to see a Kai'Sa from Abel. We haven't seen Kai'Sa really that much this year, but occasionally it slips on through. It's great with the Nautilus, and it's definitely a pick that Abel is an absolute monster on. We'll see over for the side of anyone's legend though. The Talia for Forge, it didn't really work out super well in game number 1, but they're going to go with that one again, deciding that wasn't the issue.
I mean, a very similar draft if we end up seeing the GP come out here as well for anyone's legend. And pretty much taking their AD carry and everything else, very similar spots here, except it was on the red side last time. But they will actually go towards this Renata. So I'm glad to see this locked in here. I think you're more worried about the engage and the short range composition from OMG kind of running you over. So something like a Renata will work wonders, but actually it kind of bait me last second. I don't know. I think the Renata is just so good as this disengage tool against what OMG have, but maybe Chocho thinking, hey, look, I can still go towards Braum. I can still go towards Renata if it's not banned away. But after that, it starts to get a little bit weird.
You're misunderstanding. That's a Lee Sin support for Chocho. I'm ready.
Oh, so true. AP Lee Sin, right?
Interestingly, though, Abel going with a Tristana. I was saying I wanted the Kai'Sa. We get an even more aggressive option here where you don't have to wait until level 6 to dive in. You can jump straight in from level 2. It's going to be with Braum banned away as well. So now denying escape tools from Betty and setting up for a really aggressive bottom side.
Yeah, I'm really curious as to what the game plan is going to be here for Chocho in that bottom lane. Maybe they just go fire with fire, right? You go towards the Amumu again. But against the Tristana's great in lane against the Zeri, pushing in continuously, able to look for these dives, especially because you can leap in, get a ton much damage off. You offer more CC as well if you want to try and punish the Zeri in those early stages, especially when you've got the Nautilus in check as well. So, and just leaning heavily in towards the dive as well. The Renata still going to be open here if Chocho wants to go for it though, to lock in with the Zeri. And again, I think if OMG are going for what is very much a dive composition, having something like this Renata could be clutch in those moments.
Definitely could. We'll see what the ban is going to be, whether they do take the Renata off the board here. Why would they take the Renata off the board? There's already support on the other team. It's a Vi ban away from Aki here, which does mean that Gwen is still available. Which, after how Shanji looked on Gwen in game number 1, I wouldn't be too surprised to see that just blind picked.
This is such a good Shyvana game if he wants to go for it. I think that's why he's leaving the counter pick till later on. Because Shyvana there with the dive that's already existing on OMG is going to be so incredibly good. And English Legend have to be so careful though about what they pick here, because whatever you take here will go across to Cream on this Sylas. So Nar, great for someone like Sylas who's already jumping in on top of you. So I'm curious if CDZ wants to try and hit up something a little bit different here coming in. But I will say, not a huge amount of those blind pickable champions still left and available, so it will be the Nar.
Yeah, the Renata that we've talked endlessly about. And as you say, the Nar for CDZ. Now over to the side of OMG. Over to the side of Shanji. Where is he going to go with this one? Obviously, the Gangplank band, which is one of the classic ones.
Shyvana.
Jace is a good pick. It's Shyvana. There it is. What we're all hoping for deep down. The Shyvana being hovered. Is it going to be locked in? Come on, Shanji. Give us a show.
It's such a good, there it is. This is such a good Shyvana angle. The ability to dive in onto the short range composition. You got a ton of dive buddies with you. The Shyvana does really well in the lane against the Gnar as well, because you can just chase the Gnar down. And Shanji will bring it out. I'm smiling from ear to ear. I love seeing Shanji on this pick.
And I mean, just look at this OMG composition in terms of like identities for the players, right? Shanji gets his Shyvana, Cream gets his Sylas, Abel gets his Tristana, which we've seen him play a few times already, where it's just pure aggression in the bottom side. And Aki gets a jungler that he can be aggressive on and play for these lanes, just like he did in the first game of this series. It's looking good for OMG based on their identity as a team. But anyone's Legend certainly not out of the mix just yet. They still have time to prove themselves here, and their composition does have some good tools too.
It definitely feels like, though, again, this is going to come down to the junglers. If Aki can get this early lead, abuse the matchup that he has once more, then he's going to be in a good spot, kind of facilitating Cream once more to have a little bit of an easier time in that mid lane, maybe even looking for ganks on towards this Taliyah. And then we can see OMG snowball that pressure into bot side, looking for dives like we talked about, especially post 6 with this Nautilus. But even if you don't, the extra push that you have from the Tristana in this bottom lane should help out in making sure that OMG can threaten things like the Rift Herald in the early stages and trying to abuse the fact you have great skirmishing coming through pretty much across the board with every one of these champions.
Yeah, feels like the early game is going to be terrifying for the side.
I'm so ready.
Of anyone's Legend. We've got the Elder Dragon flying about here as we head into the Rift. We're ready to get into game number 2, and OMG starting things off just beautifully. And we'll see if anyone's Legend have anything to say about it, because honestly, after game number 1, I'm not super convinced, and I feel like OMG have comfort across the board. OMG have a style that they can work with. Moving into the Tri-Brush, Betty could be in big trouble here. Oh no, don't face check
that. Didn't spot them.
He didn't hit. It didn't hit. Cold
they have no idea.
Further in. Betty doesn't know.
Oh my god, are they going to be able to catch Chocho here?
Neither Betty nor Scotty knows about Fiona and me.
Yeah.
Chocho moving away. It looks like nothing's actually going to happen in the end. They all walk away. The top hat from Cold as he waltzes on out. Well, that's kind of a disappointing end. As the surrender comes out from Shanji.
I thought they were going to like split up on both sides where like you end up with Cold going one way, Aki goes the other, and they kind of catch people off, but not going to be the case. Anyone's Legend, though, will actually move back onto the spot side. So the red buff start will be spotted here, which gives a lot of information for Aki about how he might want to path, especially because you imagine you're going to see the 3 camp start here for Xiaohu, like red, wolves into the Grump usually gives you your level 3, so may try and make something like that happen here. Wondering if Aki is going to try and match that, but looks like for the moment he's perfectly happy to just move in towards the spot side and try and play for Abel and Cream.
Yeah, Cream being quite aggressive trying to make that trade happen, but it's not going to work out. There's Abel with a cold start, not typical necessarily on this Tristana, but I think basically saying, look, I don't need the damage stats for this early lane. We're Nautilus Tristana. If you try and fight us, we are going to kill you regardless of what starting item I have, so why not get an extra bit of gold for yourself? As a hook comes out from Cold, the level 2 spike here onto Chocho. Big damage already. Is Abel, I don't think he's leveled his bomb up. No, he has. Oh, he used the bomb on the minions, I see.
Yeah, I think it was just on cooldown. Yeah. So, going to be totally fine here. Cold and Abel will get the push. Good freeze from Betty and Chocho here, which is going to cause it be a little bit uncomfortable for Abel and Cold, but they already know Xiaohao is pathing up towards that top side, so they'll be fine to actually just fully commit to pushing in the spot wave. And again, I think the cold start is totally fine. As you say, the kill threat is already there for this bot side, and realistically when you're actually going to be looking for plays is going to be with Aki coming into that bot side, so the minuscule amount of damage not really going to mean too much in the grand scheme of things. As ZDZ will find out that Krugs are still up on this top side.
Curious what this replay is for in the mid lane.
Just a good trade. It looks
Cream
like, yeah.
just taking a bit of damage. Yeah. All right. I thought it was going to be like a summon a burn or like an attempted dive or something. No, just a little bit of damage back and forth there. As Aki clearing out this bottom scuttle. You can see Xiaohao moving into the top side of the jungle here. Could go for Krugs if he wants. But Forge is in trouble. No mana available. Has Flash, has Ghost. This is looking a lot like what happened in game number 1 where Forge had to burn his summons, but luckily, moves out of the top side, will keep himself safe.
Yeah, we'll be able to give Cream a bit of a chance to push this wave in, though, which is going to be pretty big, especially since the Silas does have the TP and getting him a bit of early control. Shanji pushing Xiaohao out of this top side as well. Going to be pretty nice here for OMG. So at the moment, OMG are doing a good job of keeping things in check. Even looks like Cream got a little bit of a slow push happening in this mid lane as well. So curious to see what Cream would like to do with that now that he's going to be able to push that wave out fully.
That's going to be the question. He's picked up a Dark Seal for himself, so feeling confident, as Cream always is. I feel like Cream is one of these players that always likes to go for the Dark Seal, similar to Knight, right, where you never see him not at least grab the Dark Seal. If it goes well, turn it into a Medjay's later on. But Cream is a player that I feel like when you're watching him play, you know that he's going to try and be aggressive. You know he's going to try and find opportunities, but he's going to have to work with Aki here, because Silas won't necessarily have the easiest opportunities onto something like a Talia, because the worked ground comes out and just ruins everything.
Yeah, and that's why you're seeing like Cold and Aki trying to come up into this mid lane once more here. They know that if you're attacking from multiple different angles, definitely isn't going to be as easy. We'll be spotted out here, so won't be trying to go overly aggressive. But as I say that, Forge still needs to be very careful here.
Luckily, Forge, pretty close to his tower, still has the flash available. Used the Ghost in the previous play, but now Cold. Back on Vision, clearing a ward in the back of the pit. So he's going to be fine. You can see Xiaohao moving over, but also spotted on a ward. So Cold should be okay on this one. Should be able to just waltz his way back into his own territory. But look at this, AL moving everybody up. They're going to try and go for the Drake themselves. It feels like a bit of a dicey Drake to go for.
I agree. I mean, you do have TP from ZDZ if you want to try and commit to a 5v5, but I really don't think that's what you want to, especially at this stage of the game where level 6 are just one wave away from being hit, so they will just back away. Able having push and bot side as well would have made that a little bit more difficult, but I feel like we're just waiting for that moment where Cream and Aki can get control over this mid lane and they can start to move down into this bottom side. Bot side, as we said, like push now there, so it looks like OMG will actually be the ones to start dragging as Xiaohao moves top side.
Move on over, grab the first Drake off the game, and it is a quiet start, especially comparatively to last game. You can tell, oh, hang on, Shanji's just going to go for a 1v1 with Xiaohao. Look at the damage that he's churning out here. Gromp helping him out as well as Shanji moves over, looking for another E here, but he's in a 1v3 at this point.
He's
trying
so
to get underneath the tower. He's so quick. He's got Ghost. One more tower shot will land here, but Xiaohao should finish this one. Oh my days, nearly turns it. That is terrifying. That took 3 people to bring him down.
It was so close, but Shanji, a bit of a mistake there, right? You did not need to commit for that play on the top side when you knew that OMG were getting the dragon on the bottom side, but at least you can already see how scary this Shyvana is at the early stages of the game, and Xiaohao was lucky that he had the company there from Forge, because that could have gone very bad very quick if he didn't.
I will say, Shanji living up to the interview, right? Quite often we see players say things in interviews that it's nothing like the gameplay we see. Shanji said, I'm against AL, I've got to be aggressive, I've got to show off my mechanics. He's definitely trying to be aggressive, that's for sure.
The Shyvana mechanics are on a next level. But look, I mean, doesn't quite connect with the ultimate damage, which does suck, because I think that would have been enough to kill Xiaohao, although Xiaohao was doing a good job of holding on to his smite to get the double healing coming across here, but from both the Gromp and the smite damage, but that minion dying on the outset, I think may have saved Xiaohu, because a little bit more damage there from Shanji, and that could have been a very different story for Xiaohu.
Yeah, she said Xiaohu for a second there. I was like, wait a second. Broke my brain. Yeah, close one. Close
Sorry, not Xiaohu, not Xiaolao, not Xiao. It's Xiaohao, you know?
Definitely a little something. Which little? I don't know. Xiao, for anyone that doesn't know, is Chinese for little, or at least that's my understanding. That could be a minor
it's like a pet.
mistranslation.
It's like a pet name. It's like what you call your kid. It's like, as in like little one. It's like Xiao. But
Yeah. It's like
Little Johnny.
I call Rob Little Daggy. You know, it's
What?
Xiao Daggy. Hey, I call you that all the time. What are you talking about, Rob? Hang on, we've got a bit of a fight. We've got a Xiao fight here, just a little fight. As Cream trying to move over, but Xiaohao will be able to grab that for himself.
And absolutely nothing happened. So ZDZ going to TP to the bot side, stop Abel from being able to get a ton of these plates, but he still will pick up 2 for himself. as immediately it looks like this Rift Herald is going to be used topside by Xiaohao to get that gold answered back on towards Betty. And I like seeing these plays from Anyone's Legend. They do it a lot when they get Rift Herald, where they'll immediately just plonk it top to get stuff for the AD carry. You just have to be careful, OMG aren't going to respond. But it looks like you're safe for the moment, but now OMG starting to roam up.
Yeah, bit of a close one there. Just to follow up on the translation conversation, Xiaohao turns out little good. Like, Xiaohao means it like it's good.
True.
So he's saying, you know, I'm a little good. I'm a little good. I like the confidence in the name right there. It's kind of like Fearless. Fearless was taken, basically. So he just replaced a consonant instead. It became Fearless. I love names like that where it's confident, you know. The wave's going to be cleared here. So 1k gold lead in favor of AL.
Oh,
Is
Abel
trying to get onto ZDZ there.
I mean, I was actually a bit nervous for ZZ there. Minion arm form, couple more autos, and the ult could have been it, but it does mean now ZDZ has to back, so Abel once more gets time alone with his turret, and there goes the charge as well. So Abel getting a lot of gold here, and the CS lead for himself. Cull about to pop. Like, this Tristana is starting to... Oh, that's so sad.
In the world.
So sad.
It doesn't actually matter, but it still feels bad.
Emotionally, it does.
Yeah, yeah. 350 gold, just a singular minion away, but he needs to go for that reset. So heads back to base, still gets the Kraken Slayer, so not a big deal for him. Can return to the lane. I feel like we need to kind of reset where we're at in the game here, Dagda, because we've got a minute until that Drake comes up. OMG with the first one. And right now, in my mind, I feel like they're the ones that could push for that next Drake with how strong Abel is and with Cream on the Silas, but I could be off kilter with that.
Yeah, I think what I want to see here is, because Cole has been let loose from the bot side a little bit, and he will have to come back to help out Tristana in clearing out this wave, but start roaming then back up towards mid lane, so then you can help Cream get control over that. Then you can actually start to have Cream threaten bot side dive. Even if you don't get the dive on bot side, you get the tower, you can threaten Dragon. There's a lot that you can do with that pressure, and if anyone's Legend ever overcommit for either trying to protect the bot tower or the Dragon, you kind of trade back and forth across that. You can see there, Abel now getting that push on bot side, double reset. It's actually going to be Aki who's helping out Cream.
Big damage on Forge, forced a flash. Close one there. Cream nearly finishing the kill as Shanji. Oh no, ZDZ's in mini. Nah, he's in trouble. Ghost is burnt. ZDZ in all kinds of trouble because he's a tiny Yordle and he's up against the Dragon. Flashes the final E. I don't know if that would have killed him, but the respect comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it can be a lot of damage, especially as you can see E max there. We're about to find out if it will, though.
Oh my god, Shanji going again. Forces the hop this time, and CDC playing with fire on this one, quite literally.
Yeah, the E-Max Shyvana does a lot of damage, but as we said, with Aki helping Cream get control in mid, OMG will move towards Dragon, and then I feel like, again here, look at where Code's position, right? He does not need to be... Oh, maybe he does need to be bot side as Abel fails the jump. But he can actually make a play mid here, and then you can always move back down towards this bottom side if needs be.
Yeah, you see Cream moving into the pit lane as well. That'll be a couple of plates taken there as well. All things looking pretty good for OMG. I just want to say, that's twice now we've seen Shanji try and find a solo kill on the top side. Both times while his team does Dragon. Most teams will cross-map while the enemy team plays the opposite side of the map. Whereas Shanji...
That's the problem.
He's a savant.
Shanji just hears Dragon and he goes, oh, that's me, and then goes in. That's the thing. It's just like, oh, I need my Dragon form, I go aggressive. That's it. But honestly, that is how you play this Shyvana. Like, you just go in every time your Dragon is up and available, and all you're about doing is just stacking Dragon over and over again and diving onto this mini-nar as soon as it's available. OMG, though, now trying to invade, but they don't have a huge amount of help here. But Tristana still coming in the wings.
Get blasted there. Xiaohao just narrowly dodging the hook from Cold as Cream actually gets the red buff in the end. Dashes over the wall. It's daylight robbery as now the re-engage comes across. The hostile takeover is massive, but Chocho ain't tanky enough. Cold goes down as well. Support for support as the retreat comes out from OMG, and AL finally find themselves a foothold.
It wasn't the best of ultimate stolen from Cream. He takes the Zeri ult, and it means that there's not a huge amount that he can actually really bring to the table there. So OMG go in, get knocked out, and it means that it's a kill back over in favor of Anyone's Legend. So nice job there from AL to respond to that play.
Really good stuff from AL, and I'm glad that we're seeing a good game here from Xiaohao after game number 1. Bit of redemption for him. As, we saw the re-engage from Cold, but Xiaohao more than willing to go deep here.
Yeah, I mean, Chocho getting that brilliant ult there saves so much. Code gets the kill. And here, I mean, Abel escapes, but there's nowhere for Aki to go. And as you say, Xiaohao getting that fantastic kick means that he's just completely out of sorts. But 2 dragons still for OMG. So in the grand scheme of things, they're still working very well around the fact that Abel has been strong in the spot lane to set him up. The problem is they haven't been able to get those last 2 turret plates, which are about to fade in 8 seconds. So will not be able to get a bit more gold into this Tristana, which would have been fantastic. But if they can find moments now to threaten onto this bottom side, they should be in a good spot. But they have to be mindful. Rift Herald is up, so Abel going to move in here towards this top side with, this mid lane with Cold. Late resets from OMG though, so they may not be in a position to set up properly with anyone's legend already in the vicinity.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. There's Abel moving over towards it, but there's a control ward there from anyone's legend, so still vision control for them. The Scuttle Crab, though, in favor of OMG, so they'll at least be able to see what's going on regardless of what anyone's legend do about it. Shanji's down to the bottom side now, continuing to pressure. Wants to go for a tier 1 down there instead. As Abel fights for vision control, fights for mid-priority, sorry, against Betty and Chocho. They'll have to back away and rejoin his team. I don't feel like either team could confidently just go for this one.
And that's why there's a lot of posturing right now, especially with Forge roaming down. Doesn't have the Reaver's Wall, so needs to manually walk his way down here. But if Betty can keep landing the poke, same with Forge, they should be in a relatively good spot. You don't really have that poke option here for OMG, so anyone's legend now with control, feeling like they can move in here. TP available for both top laners. This could be a brawl.
Cream is a bit late to the play, though, but he's hit level 11 at this point. That was aggressive from Cole. Turns Golden to buy himself time. Aki in the middle of everyone, knocking them sideways as Shanji jumps on in. Abel untouched so far as he jumps onto ZDZ himself. Xiaohao trying to do damage. Shanji to frontline alongside Abel. They're trying to turn this one around, and it's a double for Cream in the meantime. As Betty stacking up laser across the team here, but there's no vision. There's no way in for anyone's legend.
Level 11 for Cream was massive there. Gets the Gnarled. Destroys Chocho on the backside, and from that, with both supports down, OMG able to continue through the rest of the fight. Rift Tail secured now for OMG, and that's going to be huge for them if they even want to just immediately turn over towards mid lane, but they decide not to. We'll catch it here in the replay. Cold, great engage on towards Forge, which instantly means that Chocho is feeling pressure to get this Renata ult out. It doesn't really get a huge amount of folks here because Shanji ends up running across the top of it and getting knocked up instead of auto-attacking anyone. Cream kills Chocho on the backside, and Abel is just in a great spot to continue free hitting with Shanji putting that pressure on towards anyone's legend backline and playing that gatekeeper.
And I feel like AL were just so scattered in that fight, right? Couldn't quite find the opportunity to play together. Whereas OMG were like playing in pairs. You had Shanji protecting Abel, you had Cream and Aki working as a duo, and then Cold, obviously, is that initial engage tool. Great little fight there from OMG, and now Drake onto the map, and this would be sole point for OMG if they can get it, and you don't want to deal with a Shavada with a Cloud Soul.
Definitely not, and that might be the case, because OMG in a really good spot here once more. Shanji gonna see if he can try and find the engage. They're waiting on the depth charge for Cold, which is still a couple of seconds out, so this could be a long one, as Rift Tower going to try and put pressure mid, so anyone's legend have to back away.
Yeah, OMG going to start this Drake on off, but feels like anyone's legend want to fight for this one. They are not going to respect the Herald. This will be a mid-tier 1 going down. In the meantime, Shanji has his Rage Bar. Cream has the Gnar ultimate available. Aki on the front line here as Dragon resets once again.
I mean, depth charge is now up. ZDZ needs to go.
Here we go into the fight as the hostile takeover is massive across absolutely everyone, and Aki's down. Dragon and a kill as Xiaohao flashes out to safety. AL flashing forwards as Betty knocked back away as Shanji trying to protect his team. It's a good little fight for anyone's legend.
Yeah, it will be 2 charges from the Rift out in the mid lane though, with the mid lane turret going down. But I have to try and watch because I always keep my eyes on Shanji and Cream, who look like they got into a great spot at the back of that fight. But the fact that Aki gets deleted on the backside means that OMG just can't keep up in that play. So anyone's legend will come out with a little bit more of a lead for themselves with the gold and with that Dragon going their way as well.
Oh, Forge. Oh, no, 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 no. He wants to go for the wave. He thinks Shanji's there alone. He is not alone. The flash out from Forge, but I don't think it's going to save him. The reset from Abel. And a bonus kill on the back. So everything that AL just got for themselves, yes, they got the Drake, but it's 1-for-1 in terms of kills in the last minute or so, and Shanji will grab a tower.
Yeah, nicely done by OMG there, but we're just going to catch the replay. So I always keep my eyes on Cream and Shanji because this looks terrifying with the engage that goes through there. But, I mean, great ultimate coming through from ZDZ to get Aki away. Cleanse is a bit late by Abel, and unfortunately, the kill onto... Yeah, the kick by Xiaohao was fantastic, even able to escape away from that. But Shanji and Cream just not getting as much done on the opposite side of the fight.
I'm pretty sure Abel just basically killed Cold by himself there during the hostile takeover. We got the Kraken Slayer proc. That was something from Abel and Cold. I mean, obviously, you know, Abel doesn't have any control over that one. That was Chocho's ult managed to make it
cleanse.
He did have cleanse. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I don't think he realized that he was about to one-shot his support. Kind of hilarious, honestly. But Gold is literally dead even in this game, Dagda, as we broach the 20-minute mark. And I'm glad, because game number 1 was an absolute stomp. And between these two teams, I want to see an even mid-game. I want to see a game where AL get to show us their team fighting prowess.
Well, we're going to have to see if they can manage it. Shanji going to go against ZDZ here. I was curious to see if Shanji was just going to go ham on ZDZ there. Just because he didn't, there's no terror there, but not knowing where anyone on anyone's legend was, he's going to back away. Baron just about to spawn as we crest the 20-minute mark, but honestly, there's not a huge amount kind of to write home about right now on either side. Both teams still trying to straggle back control, and at least for the moment, OMG are starting to get that deep vision. They just need to be so careful of Forge cutting them off with this Weaver's Wall as they do so.
Yeah, Forge is going to be clearing the waves. Just look at this group up from OMG trying to clear vision and control this Baron area. But Xiaohao moving in. Betty finishing his Phantom Dancer now. That's 2 items on the Zeri, but feels like he's pretty significantly behind, right? When you've already got 2.5 finished for, well, half. 2 1/3 maybe finished for Abel with that pickaxe going towards his Infinity Edge. And it's a little while since Abel reset, so he might be getting quite close towards that 3rd item, especially if a big fight happens. Abel moving towards this bottom side. Spotted on a ward, though. But he'll at least deny 3 crooks from CDC.
I like the idea from OMG, though, because they really want to try and use Abel's turret-taking prowess to actually get this top tower, try and put pressure on the bot side. But you can't really overextend in towards mid lane with Forge being able to protect top and potentially Weaver's Wall into the mid lane. So I like the fact that they're kind of half pushing mid and then rotating and leaning to either side of the map, because it's the only way you can actually get control over any of these lanes. Like, Forge can push out well against Cream. Shanji can't really push out against CDZ, so you have to use Abel's presence in the mid lane to do so, and at least for the moment, OMG are continuing to put that pressure down. Dragon, again, up in 55 seconds time, though, so resets are going to start coming through. I want to see now if OMG can find a better fight this time, rather than kind of falling at the wayside towards Xiaohao's kicks.
Absolutely. Look at the CS difference in this mid lane as well, Dagda. Almost 40 CS up for Cream. Now going down to 30 as you see Forge catching the wave, but even still, fantastic performance on this Silas. And we know it's a pick that Cream absolutely loves to play. Izaki just clearing some vision. You mentioned it, the Cloud Drake coming up in 25 seconds. And I feel like OMG, again, slightly ahead. And it does feel like with that BF sword, you know, you have a significant 80 carry advantage, but it's down to burst damage for OMG.
Well, Cream has just picked up his Zonya's Hourglass and the Verdant Veil, so actually in a really good spot now to manage any sort of the damage options that are coming through here. Abel as well, in a good spot here. He can flank relatively well, but not if anyone's legend just completely force OMG back.
Oh, Xiaohao's behind enemy lines as the Mega Gnar comes on through. Shanji kicked into the middle of everyone needs to turn into a dragon, but he can't do it. He's just stunned up and taken down. Cream now, next on the chopping block, forced to flash. And anyone's legend twice in a row, they will find the dragons.
I mean, OMG just super spread out. Abel in the mid lane, and he's not coming across fast enough, so OMG slowly but surely are losing ground to anyone's legend. That's 2 dragons now over for AL, and how do you even get this bot tower off the back as well?
Technically 3 dragons.
That is true.
Killed Shanji as well, so bonus dragon there. Cream, trying to find him. Actually, no, stealing the knot. I thought that was his E. That's the one problem with Silas, is it is impossible to tell the difference between his abilities.
Yeah, but look at where Abel is here. Like, great positioning from Xiaohao, don't get me wrong, but there is never any point in Abel being there if OMG are ceding as much ground as they had. Cream as well ends up trying to follow up on this, thinking he can maybe save the Shyvana, but not going to be able to because of the Unraveled Earth the Forge had already placed down. So just very messy and separated from OMG, especially when Cream had the Gnar ultimate, had Flash. That could have been such a crucial game-defining moment.
Oh, shout out at Abel playing table tennis with each other right now, but Abel, oh, the flash at the last second. Big trouble for him, and he's gonna get chased down. ZDZ gets onto him, but the cleanse actually keeps him alive now. Shanji there to protect him. Abel under the tower. 5 men strong from Anyone's Legend. They are desperate to kill the Tristana, and they will pull it off. Shanji now trying to escape on the top side of the play. As ZDZ steps too far. Almost gets punished for it. Betty trying to chase Shanji down. Look at the mid lane, though. Aki is pushing.
Aki's pushing mid. Top is being pushed by Cream. That's going to be 2 towers gone in favor of OMG, and that is massive for this composition. We already talked about how OMG are struggling to try and get these towers down because of the short range, but with Anyone's Legend committing heavily towards this bottom side, it opens up the map now for OMG, especially with Baron a threat. The fact that they can now relatively easily establish vision control on this top side is going to be huge for OMG, but yeah, we'll see it here. Abel just gets caught out. Great play already from Xiaohao. I mean, the fact that he'd already put that word there was fantastic. And this actually gets a little bit dicey for ZDZ. I wasn't sure if OMG would actually be able to cover this, if Abel was able to survive, but the Sonic Wave coming through there, just connecting onto Abel, means Shanji's left high and dry.
Well played by Xiaohao to finish it off. Good start from Xiaohao as well. And look at the scoreline. 5-0-2. Xiaohao having a great game for himself. And crucially, off the back of that last game, it's important that he has a good game for himself, right? It felt like he got kind of destroyed by Aki in the previous game. So good to see him doing well on his Lee Sin. It's a signature pick for him and every other jungler in the LPL. But it's good to see him having a good game for himself. ZDZ just trying to get some pressure in the side lane. Shanji going to go for a reset here. TP available. Baron started up by Aki and Abel. Spotted out, though, by Anyone's Legend.
They're trying to see if they could get the TP out from ZDZ, but Shanji wasn't really in a position to try and threaten that wave on bot side. So a bit of an early play from OMG to sneak that one away. Still with 3 items though on the Tristana, she is in a fantastic spot. And I think if OMG are able to find, again, just the right moment to fight, when it gets towards any of these objectives, they can win them out, especially just on the AD carry difference. The fact that Cream is like spiking incredibly hard right now, but they're just not giving themselves those moments. And Betty, as soon as he starts to crest into 3 items himself, that poke is going to become obnoxious. Same with Forge. ZDZ has been finding some great ultimates in fights. OMG need to play this one smarter than they have been.
Yeah, they definitely do. And it's been a bit of a struggle for OMG, honestly. And an uncharacteristically bad game from Shanji on this Shyvana as well. Like, a couple of times trying to be too aggressive, getting punished for it. And, you know, trying to play for Abel, trying to protect his AD carry, but Abel getting caught out of position as well. And these are the kind of issues where, you know, it's not the end of the world just yet, but if you consistently make these kinds of mistakes, you are going to be slowly but surely picked apart by Anyone's Legend. And we're getting to the point in the game where Anyone's Legend come into their own, right? This is a team that thrives in late game team fighting. Over almost at the 30-minute mark. This is AL's specialty.
And OMG will have to try and bypass what has been their biggest weakness, which is their mid-game decision-making. This time, though, quick reset coming through from Abel means they can try and contest mid-priority first before they move across over into the Dragon area. Shyvana as well has push on bot side, so overall OMG just working better off of the map state as it exists at the moment. Cream TPing into the top side. They really want to try and keep priority here in these lanes. Are we just doing Baron?
Here, as they are going to start the Baron. You're absolutely right. They are just going to go for this one. Drake spawning on the bottom side. Shanji just hit level 16 as Cream uses the Weaver's Wall to deny entry. Xiaohao can't even get around, trying to use the Sonic Wave, but Cole with the fancy feet. Baron is taken by OMG, and now a fight on top of it as everyone diving in. Shanji and Dragon on the front line as Xiaohao goes deep, but Abel is down. Shanji slammed against the wall. There's 2 for Anyone's Legend as the rest flee to the mountains. Cold trying to escape, but taken down by Betty. A fight for AL, a Baron for OMG.
A nice idea for OMG, but they needed to just clear out of the pit as soon as they take it. I mean, Haki could have flashed over the wall. Shanji, Abel, Cream all hop over the wall. Cole could have even flashed, but instead they tried to take the fight. Xiaohao again with a fantastic kick, and Anyone's Legend take the kills, and they'll take the dragon.
This has been such an exciting game here, as it's 3 Drakes now for Anyone's Legend. The Baron, not even 1,000 gold lead for OMG off the back of that Baron as well, which is a dicey situation. I love this ult from Cream. So good as the TP came through from Shanji as well. Then, as you say, committing to the fight when they maybe should have just left.
I mean, if they all just hop out the back of the pit, they're in a great spot here, right? Everyone flashes out, they get to walk away, Cole can ult anyone who comes close, and you're actually going to be fine. But Xiaohao, because they all commit, is able to get directly in onto the back line, kicks onto Abel, and again, Xiaohao's been so clutch in these fights consistently with the Lee Sin to find those key members when it counts most.
Yeah. Abel with actually a very good ult onto Xiaohao to keep him out of the pit, but then Xiaohao finds another way back in and then gets the kicks. So, you know, Abel and Xiaohao, they have eyes only for each other this game. They will only ult each other every single fight. So Abel will go for the Wolves here. Now the Baron, still going to be crucial. Still going to be an opportunity for OMG to try and get some pressure down. Remember, there's only inhib towers remaining in the mid and top lane.
Still though, the cannon's going to start doing work. You're relatively short range on Anyone's Legend, but Forge at least can try and knock these cannon minions back into their squad. But again, you're not exactly the highest range on OMG either. Abel, the only one who can really threaten these towers, so wherever Abel is, Anyone's Legends are sure to follow as they try and keep them at bay. Only one more wave to go before this Baron falls off, so it looks like for the moment AL will hold on to the base.
Yeah, difficult to pressure multiple lanes as well when you don't have enough Baron buffs to work with, right? Shanji doesn't have that, so he can't go pressure a separate lane for himself. To see how this one continues as Shanji trying to escape himself. Laser comes out onto Cold here. ZDZ is Meganar right now, and he's found a perfect opportunity. Aki down, and in they go for more as well. Knocked into the backside as Abel falls. Shanji over the wall will survive, but I don't know if the rest of his team will. Cold now hooks away. Cream trying to protect his support right here. Bit of damage coming on out. Weaver's Wall from Forge is a little dicey, as Cream can definitely win that 1v1. Will just be a 2-for-1.
I mean, still plays in favor of Anyone's Legend, and I just don't know why OMG keep trying to take these messy fights. Like, you don't need to be trying to fight in this bottom side. Look for resets. Spend the gold you picked up. Try and actually look to see if you can keep these waves in order, especially with 2.5 minutes until the next dragon. Like, having that tempo advantage can buy you so much over the next little while, but now giving this fight across to Anyone's Legend, and I mean, Anyone's Legend are 5-man strong here, whereas you look where Abel is, look where Cold is, even you've got Cream pushing mid, you're not going to be able to take this fight, but Aki and Shanji just seem determined, and again, Xiaohao, phenomenal kicks on this Lee Sin. The ult from Abel will take ZDZ out of the fight, but it just means that now Cream and Cold have to deal with ZDZ, and they're still got the numbers advantage on the rest of the fight.
I feel like Abel accidentally zoned the rest of his team away there with the Buster shot, but in the meantime, Abel did manage to DPS down Xiaohao. Got a shutdown for himself as well. That was like 800 gold, I'm pretty sure. Abel picked up off of that shutdown. So big influx on the Tristana. You know, people think about Tristana for the lane pressure. This is also a late game team fighting AD carry. 4 items now on this crit AD carry. Gains attack range as well over the course of the game thanks to the draw the bead passive. So feels like Abel will be able to come into his own a little bit. And look at this. Waves being donated to Xiaohao in the mid lane must be getting very close to finishing that GA.
Yeah, and imagine that's exactly why they're trying to give as much across to Xiaohao. Like, if he can actually complete that, it means he can continue to go hyper aggressive in these fights with the kicks, and that's where Anyone's Legend have been finding their success. No real way to try and stop that unless it's Cold or Cream managing to catch him in the act. Maybe Aki with the ultimate, but a huge amount invested to try and keep Anyone's Legends jungler out of the picture. Dragon in 40 seconds though. You've got the Rabadon's death cap now completed for Cream. He can be a menace if he can get on towards Betty, but realistically we all know what the story is. If Abel stays alive, OMG win. If Anyone's Legend can get the front line gone or Abel out of the picture, Anyone's Legend can win this. And again, keep your eyes on Chocho, because this ultimate has been so crucial in these fights alongside Xiaohao.
That's been absolutely massive. Shanji moving forwards here as CDZ on the front line. Aki gonna be in a bit of trouble, has to back away. Cream behind enemy lines and has that Nara ultimate available. Shanji backing away. Abel could be caught against CDZ, goes for it, but Abel with a good little jump to get himself to safety. Cream still out of vision, but AL want to move in. 5 seconds on the Drake.
Cream now just moved into vision. This is it.
Cole's in trouble. Shanji goes in. Cream with the Meg. And Nah finds him against the wall. Aki goes in. And here are the resets. Here are the kills for the side of OMG. After it's been such a tough game, they start to shred anyone's legend. Abel trying to save their lives with the Buster shot. It should have been an ace, and I'm not sure it will be at this point. But regardless, OMG get themselves the Drake, and now they can look for more.
Shanji not able to stop the reset there coming through from Forge. He gets out with the Weaver wall. They just want to look for the end here as Shanji once more playing keep away from Betty from the base.
Yeah, Shanji trying to stop Betty from resetting. He jumps over the wall, but Shanji should be able to
Have
eat that one if he wants to. OMG onto the base
No
here.
way.
25 seconds on the death timers as Cream gonna keep everyone away with the Weaver's wall. Abel does so much damage to these towers. The Nexus is bare, and OMG, after being behind all game long, they find themselves the 2-0.
OMG actually taking down anyone's legend 2-0. It looked like this was going to be anyone's legend, cementing themselves another victory, pushing themselves to 8th place. But OMG's early game in game 1 is too hot to handle. And look at that. Game 2 clearly putting some happy faces into OMG's lineup.
You can see just elation across the team there.